Welcome back to the channel. Stipe here today, and today I'm doing a video and I'm going to be kind of talking about the diesel JL Wrangler that everyone's waiting on and the Gladiator. I know since day one I started when I started doing videos on the JL when it first came out, day one people were like, I'm waiting for the diesel, this and that. Well, I hate to shatter your dreams, but here I'm going to give you some reasons why that if you did wait, it was a bad idea, and I probably should have done this video a long time ago. I always wanted to, and I never really got a chance to kind of speak my opinion on it, and I know there's a ton of people that are going to agree with me. So let's get right into the video. And just before we do, check out my channel or my website down below. The link is in the description. It's carmodjunkie.com. Please check that out. There's tons of Mopar accessories and things like that there. So first thing that I have to say about the diesel JL Wrangler that's coming out, we're almost 99.5% sure that it is going to be a EcoDiesel, probably the same EcoDiesel that they have already. The EcoDiesel right from the beginning had low oil pressure problems. It had engine stalling issues. Like as soon as you throw it into gear, it stalled. Very strange things were happening right from the start. Now that's expected the first year. You know, there are some little problems you have to work out and things like that, but then it just started to get worse. There was more and more and more problems as it went on. My grandfather actually bought a brand new EcoDiesel at 2015. He's constantly in the shop with it. There's constantly problems with it. What I'm going to tell you now is that last year I wrote an article on the actual motor, and I read another like 10 articles on this motor, and there was 3 that were interesting. One was by wheels.ca, another was msn.com, and the truthaboutcars.com. So these are all websites that have been around for quite some time. They're pretty reliable sources. They give their opinion on tons, like thousands and thousands of motors. And msn.com wrote an article saying 7 engines to avoid like the plague, and one of them was the EcoDiesel. And then wheels.ca, 6 engines to avoid EcoDiesel. The Truth About Cars wrote a really in-depth article about the failure of the EcoDiesel and how the motor fails at highway speeds all the time. There's tons and tons of stories of people who are just driving on the highway going, let's say, I don't know, 65 miles an hour, and all of a sudden the engine puts a rod right through the engine. And it's just, I don't know, like that's just poor quality design. It's always been a huge problem with Fiat in general. Any Fiat motor that Fiat makes usually is a huge problem. Hence the reason for why Chrysler really hasn't come out with anything too new. I mean, most of the motors that they have was still designed during the Mercedes and Chrysler era. So most of them are Mercedes and Chrysler designs that they still have in their motors. Let's say the Hemi, the Pentastar was designed. Obviously, it was released when Fiat came over, but I mean, still, Chrysler, and that was pretty much a very Chrysler design motor. The Tire Shark, Chrysler design. I'm probably missing a couple motors too, but there was a lot of motors, and you know, anything that really Fiat has tried to come out with has kind of struggled. Not struggled actually in sales, I should say. It's struggled to be reliable, and it's been a huge problem. And yes, that is one of the main problems with. So I'm going to read to you guys exactly what MSN wrote here. It's a quick little paragraph. And so what the EcoDiesel engine has been branded as a lemon by the Automobile Protection Association. So that's never a good name to have. If your vehicle is called a lemon, that's a huge problem. The EcoDiesel has exhibited an unsettling number of main bearing failures, which is another thing that's very popular that I forgot to mention. An event that can unfold while driving on the highway, which owners have described in vivid detail. One owner recounted one incident as a catastrophic bottom end engine failure at highway speed, breaking the crankshaft and sending the connecting rod through the engine block, which is what I just mentioned a couple of seconds ago. So yes, that is a huge problem. And again, the EcoDiesel motor, not very reliable. So that's pretty much my main thing that I would like you guys to focus on if you are considering buying this motor. Now, another thing that I would like you to focus on is I wrote down a couple of numbers here so I can kind of do it. So I'm going to be comparing the Ram kind of numbers here, because the fuel mileage, it's not worth it. And this is why it's not worth it. It's not worth it because in a Ram, the difference between a Hemi, so remember, there's also a Pentastar in a Ram as well, but you get the Pentastar only in the Wrangler, and now they have the turbo motor too as well, which has actually so far been pretty good. So I mean, knock on wood that stays like that. But the EcoDiesel that they'll be probably putting in, there's probably typically about a $400 gas difference if you drive 12,000 miles per year. Chrysler's numbers say that there's a $400 difference in gas mileage. Okay, so over the year you'll save $400 on gas. So what does that mean? The option in the Rams when it first came out was close to around $3,200 in difference to upgrade to the diesel from the Hemi. It was about $3,200 difference. That's probably what it's going to be around in the Wrangler. I'm sure that's what it's going to be around. So $400 difference, you have to make up for that $3,200, right? So now factor all these things in too. You pay probably around $80 more for an oil change compared to, let's say, the Pentastar. You're going to be paying every 3 to 4 months to refill the DEF fluid tank as well. There's another 40 to 50 bucks, maybe less actually, 30 to 40 bucks on that. Now another, so you have to factor all of that in. Over the span of 8 years, you'll save $3,200. Great. So let's say that pays off the motor, but now you also have to factor in that extra money that you were spending on oil changes, right? That the DEF as well. So there's another, you know, let's say $500+ right there over the course of 8 years. There's that's going to be quite a bit of dollars, probably more than that. So let's say 9 years until you, best case scenario, this is best case scenario, 9 years until you pay off the difference in what it's worth to actually have that diesel motor. Or better yet, times 12,000 miles per year by 8, right, or 9. So let's say we times by 8, that's 96,000 miles in a year, in that span. So you would have to drive that vehicle for 96,000 miles, which most of these motors have been told that they won't even make it past 70,000 miles because they already have catastrophic failures in the motor. So you may never even get to pay off that motor, and you know, the vehicle's out of warranty too by then, by the time the motor fails. So now you're really stuck in a real jam, and you spent all this money, you spent the extra money to upgrade to this vehicle for gas savings. More than likely that's the main reason why you did it, and most people do it still to this day, is because, you know, oh well, they're pulling a trailer with the trucks, especially they're pulling a trailer to figure, okay, the diesel's better. Yes, then it's really worth it. If you're pulling a trailer, you'll probably save that money a little bit quicker, but still you have to drive that car probably for 3-4 years until you make it worth it. Some people put on more, so yes, you will, it'll be a shorter time frame for you, yes, but you're still gonna have to put on 96,000 miles until that is worth it. That's a lot of miles to put on, and something that this motor has struggled to do is put on that many miles, which is sad to even think about. And you can talk to many people, driving off the lot, first week engine light, next week they fix it, another engine light a month after. It's just problem after problem with these motors. It's so unfortunate because that diesel really had a lot of potential, and you know, I hope they do come out with a new design, but you know, just off of the first EcoDiesel that they brought to North America, it's been so problematic that I wouldn't be surprised if there was more problems with the next one that they come out with, and just the EcoDiesels in general don't look very promising at all. So that's my point of why I wouldn't buy a EcoDiesel JL Wrangler or Gladiator. I would not wait for that. If you are waiting for it, don't. I guarantee you, plus that's another thing, dealers aren't going to even want to negotiate off the price off a diesel one when they do come out with it, which is just going to be silly. And then you're going to spend even more extra money on top of that because you could have negotiated them on a gas one, and you're not going to be able to negotiate them on a diesel one. So now you're losing even more money. Probably the difference is going to be $7,000 to $8,000 in difference just so you can get that diesel one. It's not worth it. I'm telling you right now, it's just going to cause you more headaches. Whoever waited for that just because of gas mileage, I feel sorry for you that you're just waiting for it because of gas mileage. Most Jeep guys who love Jeeps, they really want to take it in the bush. They don't care. They just want an engine that's very reliable. The Pentastar is in tons of articles as the top motor in the world out of these new ones. There's tons, and it was on Motor Trend's top 4. It was in Motor Trend's top 4, I think, motors that are available right now in the market. So please do keep that in mind, guys. my opinion, don't go for the EcoDiesel. Then again, you know, I mean, it's your money, it's the way you guys want to spend it. Hey, do it the way you want. But I'm telling you right now that it's not worth it, just from experience and seeing it all the time with upset clients and getting angry phone calls all the time about their EcoDiesels. I'm telling you right now, don't do it. Save yourself some money, because you will definitely save yourself some money, especially nowadays. Nobody even keeps their car for more than 5 years. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe to the channel and make sure you like the video, and we'll be back with more